What's going on, guys? It's Austin back again with another video, and today I'm putting an engine that I rebuilt into a 2006 Forester. I ended up machining the heads myself at home, resealing the entire engine, and we're gonna see if this thing runs or not. Because when I picked it up, it did not run. It overheated really bad, and I don't know. This is a gamble. You know, we got this to this point, ready to drop in, so stay tuned for today's video. I'm going to show you how to install the engine and hook everything up, and I'm crossing my fingers that this is going to work, because if not, kind of screwed. I just rolled my little tool cart out here and we're getting straight to business. Put the hood in service mode, just take the hood prop out and rest it on the, I don't even know what it is, DRL thing. Yeah, we got the AC compressor over here and power steering pump down there. So I just like leaving those things in the car if you're doing this at home. This just makes it a lot easier. That way you can just leave the bracket on here and use the chain and hook it to here. I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. But yeah, let's get this started here. We're gonna get this off the stand here. I got a chain I got from Home Depot and just some carabiners. Hopefully they're rated for this, I don't know. Make sure to give it a good shake so it doesn't fall on you in the air. All right, take this off. Then we got our 4 bell housing bolts in there, 14s. So as you can see, I have a floor jack lifting up the transmission. You just jack it on the front diff, not the transmission pan. But you want the transmission jacked up so it's not resting on the subframe, because you need to clear your motor mount studs on your subframe. So jacking it up helps align it into the bell housing. Like I said, this is what you'll be hitting on the subframe if you don't jack up the transmission. All right. You can see the gap is small. I just gotta slowly work it in and just make sure it doesn't pinch at the top or the bottom. You want it to go in evenly at the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna get all these bolts bolted up. I like to start with the two back here on the right side. There's one here and one right over here. And then on the driver's side of the vehicle, there's one right below the starter, kind of in the middle down there. So we're gonna do those, and I just slowly walk it back and forth. So looking at this right now, I can see there's a bigger opening at the top. So all I'll do to fix that is jack it up just a hair, starting to close it up, and just slowly push it back in there. The engine's almost in the subframe all the way. Now it's in all the way. Take my chain. And now this is how we are. So I got all the bell housing bolts tight, as you can see. 1, 2, 3 down there. There's a nut I haven't got to down there. Same thing on the other side yet. But the next very step I like to do at this point is put my 4 torque converter bolts in, which are right here under all the leaves. I've been finding random bolts underneath the leaves. I didn't realize it was gonna, take this long. So here we are now. But yeah, so on these ones, it's kind of a pain because you got the throttle body right here blocking it. So I just leave one bolt in here. So it's not, it hit the concrete. Thank God, dude. Oh, I would have been pissed. Anyways, throttle body is usually in the way of your torque converter access hole, which is right here. So now I got to rotate the crankshaft, and there's 4 holes. I put the bolts through, and then I reach through the starter hole and spin the torque converter and get the first one started. Which is back here where your starter goes. And then once you get all 4 of those hand tight, then you can actually tighten them down with the ratchet. So as you can see, I just rotated my crank by hand. And if we're looking through here, right here is your thread that you got to put your bolt through. It's so hard to see. One of these guys right here. So very, 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 very important that you do not drop one of these bolts in the hole, because the only way you're getting it out is removing the engine again and taking your flex plate off on the back, because it gets wedged in there. Maybe, if you're lucky enough, you could get a magnet down in there. But that's the dark, deep abyss that just swallows bolts if you drop it. So, and you don't want to not get it out, because then when you start it out, when you start it up, you're going to have way loud noise and probably damage some things. So don't do that. All right, now we got our torque converter bolts in. Now we can bolt our throttle body up. I just bolted up the pitch top. I just took this one off here, but I got my new gasket here. We're just going to go ahead and bolt the throttle body up. And all right, guys, it is the next day. As you can see behind me, I don't know what just happened yesterday. It snowed a little bit. So, you know what? I got a snow brush. Dang, I just saw a deer back in the woods. That was crazy. I got a snow brush. I'm going to brush the car off, and then I still got to get this running today. Luckily, there's not a lot of snow on the driveway or anything, so we're going to get this thing going today. Probably going to put on a beanie, though, because it's a little cold. But But yeah, it got dark yesterday really early, and I was just like, I don't want to keep using a flashlight in the dark. So here we are in the snow doing it. This is the current setup, just because I didn't want to get absolutely obliterated by these snowballs that are falling off these trees right now. So we got this tent set up, and it's actually pretty legit. So hopefully we're less than an hour from getting this thing running, and I'm gonna film everything and let you guys, oh my God. I'm gonna film everything and let you guys know how it goes, good or bad, because like I said before, we don't know if this thing runs or not, so we'll find out momentarily. Underneath of the car now, and I just got the exhaust bolted up. 3 bolts over there, 3 bolts over here, plugged my O2 sensors in, got my 2 trans cooler lines attached to the bottom of the radiator, and my lower radiator hose. Coming up here, all I have left is to put the intake on and put the battery in and fill it up with fluids, and we'll see what happens then. It's raining cats and dogs over here. I'm just finishing putting up on the intake here. I'm a little scared right now, actually. I don't know if it's gonna work, but my thing is we start this thing up and it's knocking. We have an extra engine in the garage for it. I don't want to use it, but it's there if we need it. We're at the final steps. This is the most scary part, is filling it with fluids and then actually turning the key. Premium 530 conventional 50/50. So the coolant just started pissing everywhere out of the bottom of somewhere. I think it's the radiator. Oh, no. So I had to remove the radiator again because all the coolant came pouring out of here and we didn't know why. But as you can see here, the aluminum separated from the plastic, and it's all leaking out of there. So that explains why the car lost all of its coolant and overheated, and there's coolant all over the engine bay. So I'm on a standby until we can get a radiator in this thing. So yeah, at this point, I mean, I guess I could start it with just oil in it just to see if it turns over, but I'm just gonna wait until I get a radiator and fill it up with coolant and everything. So until then, shenanigans will continue to another day. All right, guys, if I'm being honest, this is turning into a little bit of a nightmare. It's freezing, dude. It's like 32 degrees right now, and this is what I come back outside to. But luckily, I only need this stuff here. First, I gotta start by getting the snow off again, because I got a new radiator. So let's start here. As you can see, we got a hand length of snow here. Luckily, under the hood is dry, but like I said, all I got is a radiator. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap the fans over from the old radiator onto the new one. All right, so I took my 310mm screws out of here. This whole entire fan. Oh, I lied. Gotta get the coolant hose off there. Now this whole entire fan assembly goes right onto the new one. Line up your tabs at the bottom first. And screw your fan assembly back in. Looks like somebody over tightened it and cracked them all, so perfect. Swap your radiator hose, and these ones are angled. I'm gonna put the angled ones on here because this bottom section of your radiator is for your trans cooler if it's an automatic transmission. So I'm gonna swap those over so I can hook my lines up properly. So I'm laying underneath the car right now, and this is my lower radiator hose. I just got that attached. This is my one trans cooler line, and then the other one runs all the way down here, connects to the other hose right, or the line that I just put on here. Make sure to plug your radiator fans in, one over here and one on the other fan. And now, this is the fun part. Now is when we get to fill this thing up with coolant and turn the key. And hopefully this thing doesn't have rod knock or anything. I think I already said that, but I'm so crossing my fingers that this is gonna work. And it would be amazing if I didn't have to go buy another engine for this thing after doing all this work. Sorry about the angle, that's the best I got at the moment, but this is take 2. Oh man. Well, so far so good. It's not pouring out onto the floor like it was last time. Now I'm scared, for sure. Like I do this a lot, but it's still kind of nerve-wracking, especially the condition that we got this thing in, and you could tell somebody's tried to fix it before, and here I am trying to fix a fix. I don't know how much this is gonna take. Hopefully not that much more. I don't really have that much. So you don't really want to fill it all the way up to the top, because when you start it, the fluid goes up and down. Okay, yeah, so perfect. This stopped right at the bottom. So I'm gonna start it up there and see what happens. Okay, this is it. I'm not even gonna prime it or anything. I'm just gonna fucking start it. See what happens. It's a little... I can't tell if it's knocking or if it's gotta be. I don't know. Rev past 2,000. It's fucking knocking. Ah! I mean, I'm happy it runs because it didn't run before. $6K, I know what I got. Runs and drives mint. Just needs a valve adjustment. Sick, dude. I'm trying to talk over the engine running and also the fans that are going, but The engine quieted down a lot. I think it's just got slight piston slap because I don't hear it anymore. And these have an issue where it sounds like it's knocking on cold starts, and then once it warms up, it goes away. It doesn't affect any drivability issues or anything like that, but it's just noisy. I know my O2 does the same thing. I hear that slapping or knocking when I'm driving it very faintly. You can hear it, but that doesn't bother me that much. I know this is probably just going to be the same thing. Also, I think it was kind of gnarly on startup because I didn't even prime it or get oil anywhere. It was a complete dry start, other than the assembly lube that I had in there. So that might have something to do with it. Let me shut this off before this goes boiling over. Also, the cap might be clogged because it won't rev past $2,000, 2,200. This thing's gonna keep beeping at me, but foot to the floor right now. Yeah, this thing got 240,000 miles on it, dude. Yeah, it's getting warm over here, actually. Oh my God, what was that, dude? I know you heard that. Did the belt fly off, dude? It finally revved past $2,000, and then it sounded like a belt flew off. Okay, I'm scared now. I'm gonna, before I even attempt to start it again, I'm gonna take this coolant reservoir out and pop this timing cover off and take a look at the timing belt. Okay, so the timing belt's still on. I have no idea, dude, what I don't know what I just heard. That was ridiculous. I don't even know if I want to start it again, but I'm gonna obviously have to. Let's throw this just over here for, oh, not the 10 mil. Let's throw this right here for a second. It's not gonna do me any good being full at the moment. It's just an overflow. So let's try to start it again. I don't know what that was all about. What the fuck, dude? Dude. What the fuck is that? Oh no. I wonder if that's the fucking transmission. Is there any fucking fluid in this thing? Where's the dipstick? Alright, so I think the trans is cooked. So we went from a rod knocked engine to possibly a piston slap engine to now blown up transmission. Ugh. All right, so last night I was filming. One, I couldn't see anything. Two, I didn't know what was going on. Trying to revisit this right now, and this is the face of I don't know what's going on, and I'm kind of scared because it's gonna be a lot of money. So I'm just filming whether it's good or bad. So here we are. This is real life. I'm trying to make this thing work out, you know. I don't know what else I can do other than start it up and see if I can tell where the noise is coming from exactly. Yesterday, I don't know, man. It wasn't revving past 2,000, and then when it finally did, it sounded like stuff was exploding. I hope you guys can hear that on camera because that sounds crazy. Honestly, I'm about to just put the wheels on it and see if it drives. I mean, what else do I do? I don't know. Or at least put the wheels on it on the jack stands and try to drive it in the air so it doesn't, just in case it doesn't move, you know, it's right there. Make sure all four wheels are spinning like it's supposed to. Pissed. All right, guys, so my theory was correct. I'm getting on the creeper so I can go underneath and show ya. Do you hear how loud? You win some and you lose some on the marketplace deals, so. It sucks for sure, especially because this is the car that I was like, you know what, this is a deal. Dude doesn't know what he has. In fact, he knew what he had and he suckered me into it. But I mean, that's what happens when you buy a car that you don't know the condition of. You don't know if it runs or not. You know, it's my gamble. I'm dealing with the consequences now as we speak. We drove 4 hours one way to get this car. It was like almost Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I'm Southwest Michigan. So going around Illinois through Chicago and everything like that. 8-hour driving time turned into 10.5 hours because then we had to make a few stops and then we got to go to the Cheese Castle and everything, so that was cool. But wow, this thing sounds terrible. But the engine's solid though. So disregard my clip from last night when I said, 6K, I know what I got. Now it's 4K, I know what I got. Slight transmission noise, it's just, man, I am stoked on the engine though. So that's good. It's running. All right, guys, so I just moved the vehicle. I don't know if I should have did this or not, but I wanted to get it on more of a level surface so I could check the fluid. Oh my God, dude, this thing is cooked. I've never heard anything like this. I tried putting it in gear and it didn't move. It just revved up and it sounds like there's a bag of rocks inside the transmission pan. So that sucks. That's a L, but the car runs, so that's good. I'm just gonna move it real quick. That's in drive, by the way. Reverse is mint. So after you heard that last clip, that sounded phenomenal. I wasn't able to go on a test drive to see if the engine works and actually gets up to operating temperature and driving speeds because of the current condition that it's in. So until I find a transmission, this is on not the back burner because this is kind of a high priority, but I don't have a transmission, so I can't put that in. It's gonna have to be a separate video anyway. So at the moment, the decking heads went good. The engine runs. It doesn't have any leaks that I can see, so I'll call it a win. We're able to save the engine and use it. The piston slap went away, thankfully, because I don't hear it on this startup either. So, well, probably can't hear it over the transmission noise anyway. So that's kind of where I'm gonna have to leave this video. So if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more content like this, because obviously it's got to get fixed somehow, and there's definitely going to be more Subarus in the near future. So thank you guys again. My name's Austin. We'll see you in the next one.